I felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark. My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
Give it up, Mr. Wake. Come on. Take it easy on him. Move it, move it, move it. Let him get away. Okay, men, keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here.
Oh, damn.
Man out! Over here! Over here! Look, right there you go! God damn it! Where did he go? Slipped away! Keep an eye out! He's gone! Come on, guys! We need to head him off! Search the area! Stay sharp! This way! Over here!
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. Why, they were... Hey, what you... Come on. Sit down and give me that.
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine. Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through with it. There was no power to the searchlight. The old generator conked out. I'd have to see if I could fix it and try again. It took me a
So
moment
Alan
to
Wake
recognize
is
the
a
flashbang
psychological
grenades.
thriller,
They were an
and
ideal weapon for my
we are
situation.
on this journey into Alan Wake's mind. And if we think about psycho thrillers, you know, there is always that question on, is this true? Is this really happening? Or is this part of the madness? And if it's madness, is nothing true. But obviously we are on this journey together with Wake, and he becomes to believe in it. And so must we, because otherwise the things that we are fighting for are not really there.
Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
The big theme, obviously, in this thriller is fiction coming true. And a lot of effort from our part writing this was to think about what does that mean and what are the limits. Obviously, if we would have given Alan Wake godlike powers to just change reality on a whim, there would not have been much stakes in this.
In 1911.
Well, thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna. Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in. Folks, I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
I had no idea how to get to the coal mine. Maine would know. And I had a feeling I wouldn't get a chance to ask anyone else. anytime soon.
You yet, even if it kills me, you hear me? You hear me?
So changing reality with
I had
his
fallen off
writing
so many cliffs, it was ridiculous.
has to be a
That's
struggle.
What you get for naming a book the sudden
It's
stop.
hard
It was probably good
for
I hadn't
him.
had the chance to tell
As
Maine where I was
writing
going.
a good
I'd have to
story
lose the cops and
is
find my
hard
own way to the
for
mine.
us. So there is this metaphor going on in this. And essentially what he can do is he can take existing elements and nudge them and tweak them. And in a similar way, I feel that story needs to feel true for it to be a good story.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan, I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me. I could see a railway bridge up ahead, and a
So
warehouse
in the
of some
game,
sort
through
on the
these
opposite shore.
in-game television
I hoped I could find a car
inserts,
from there.
we learn about Alan Wake's writing process. How he was trapped in the study of Birtleck Cabin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite
So in the
shore.
game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process, how he was trapped in the study of Bertlek Capin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore.
So in the game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process, how he was trapped in the study of Bertlek Capin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there. Warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore.
So in the game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process. How he was trapped in the study of Birtleck cabin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore.
So in the game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process. How he was trapped in the study of Birtleck cabin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore.
So in the game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process. How he was trapped in the study of Birtleck cabin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory. Into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite
So in the
shore.
game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process. How he was trapped in the study of Birtleck cabin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
just starting to get interested in writing. Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all... and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car.
So in the game, through these in-game television inserts, we learn about Alan Wake's writing process. How he was trapped in the study of Birtleck Cabin and how he wrote the manuscript. And we learn that he becomes aware of the Dark Presence's plan and how he starts to hide in keys for his success into the story. I mean, hiding his truth and his escape, his ultimate victory into the story. And there is an interesting metaphor there about writing process in general.
Just starting to get interested in writing. Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Alan Wake hiding keys for his escape and his success into the manuscript story is a metaphor, or the writer who is writing story for entertainment with many needs coming in. We are hiding art into our stories, and this is kind of a nugget of wisdom from my drama teacher.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper.
So I've been
and he
asked
would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other
a few
choice.
times,
A
like
drowning
how
man
much
will
is
clutch at a straw.
Alan Wake, Sam Lake as a rider, and
Little by little, without
my
realizing
answer is
I'd come to believe that
not
the story
really
in
at
the
all.
manuscript was coming true.
But there is
The current of
a
its
certain
narrative
kind of
had
a
taken me
truth to
deeper
the
and
idea
deeper
that
into
there
the
are,
universe.
of course,
Alice had
we
been taken
always
Barry
draw
was
from
probably in
our
jail. I
own
was a fugitive
experience.
from the FBI.
And I think that
The whole world
surprisingly,
dark
a few
was trying
of the
to
Remedy games in some way are metaphors and commentaries on video game development. stories in our games as a metaphor of making video games. I mean, obviously, in these past 25 years, a considerable amount of my life has gone into making video games and thinking about video games and struggling with the process of making video games. So it's not a surprise that these elements sneak in. Alan Wake in particular is a lot about the process of writing a story and struggling with writing a story. I mean, obviously...
Where the hell are you?
Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around by you.
You want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah! I'm gonna kill him!
I had to get to Mirror Peak. It was close, maybe closer than ever before.
Now in this commentary I talk a lot about my own perspective and how I see these things, but it's always important to mention that making video games is very much a team effort. There are a lot of brilliant, talented people working at Remedy and we're working on Alan Wake. And there are a lot of inputs. You know, as a writer, you have a story in mind and you refine it to a certain point. But then you have a lot of people bringing interesting, cool, surprising ideas to the table. And then it's a challenge to kind of pick and choose, take those in, and let them change it for the better.
reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution. There was no way the flashbang grenades were Standard Power Company equipment.
For Alan Wake's
I had no
story,
real plan.
a
I was
lot of
going
the
to give the kidnapper all
backstory
the
we
manuscript
discover
pages I had
along
for
the
Alice.
way
If that wasn't
comes
enough,
from
I'd hold him at gunpoint
60s,
and make him talk.
70s, and even 80s. Now, I was born in 1970, and so kind of when I think about elements of Finnish countryside having life during summers, it has this golden sheen on it that you often have, you know, when you are growing up. And when I think about the backstory of the 70s with the birdleg cabin, these are the kind of feelings and images that I think about.
The dark presence was moving ahead of me in the same direction I was going. A cold feeling settled itself in the pit of my stomach. Was it going for Alice?
The graveyard shift may cause cancer.
The place was dead, a ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Anything outside of riding is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. I crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
The kidnapper had sent me a text. The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry up. Birds. Birds.
accidents could be prevented.
I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that. Another cable car. Just great. I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot where the island and the cabin had been. There was a light near it. It had to be a boat. I was close now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find.
Wait! Are you? Wait!
Hey, I'm here! I'm coming!
No! Get away! Sorry. Please, it's late. The boss didn't know who he was messing with. I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know. We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is.
I felt groggy.
Part of
Whatever
the
Hartman had
big
pumped in me was
backstory
making
element
me
obviously
numb.
deals with
I felt like this was happening to someone
Thomas Zane,
else. Someone I
the
was
diver
watching
and the
on
poet,
television.
Barbara
couldn't think.
Checker,
Couldn't focus.
Emil
The
Hartman,
door was locked.
and
I was a
Cynthia
prisoner
Weaver, all in this 60s, 70s landscape in this story. I mean, Thomas Zane is a very kind of important character.
evening, Alan.
Also,
Feeling
somebody who
better
wrote,
now? Feeling calm?
and also
Yeah.
somebody who
I see you brought your
is
pet
now
gorilla
as
with
the
you. So
diver,
sure, I'm calm.
very
I
much
get the message. Loud and clear.
guiding Alan Wake,
Right,
but in
that's
some
the
ways
spirit.
also
You're being very
haunting
brave,
him.
Alan.
And many of these elements are set
I would be more
as
concerned
part
if
of
you
that
weren't
backstory.
suspicious of me. I don't blame you for it.
Big of you.
Now, why don't you come with me? We'll reacquaint you with my clinic and go over everything you might have forgotten. Little walk and some fresh air? Yes, it will do you good. This corridor is for patients. Most of them aren't here right now. Jack took them out for a fishing trip, except for the ones who are particularly vulnerable, of course. I encourage creativity as a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. I specialize in treating artists.
I bet you do.
Splendid, Alan. I honestly believe we can get this thing under control if we work together. This way, Alan. Now, Alan, from past experience with you, I know I need to get right into the heart of the matter as quickly as I can after an episode. So I'm just going to say this. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a very vulnerable state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned, and you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations, paranoid delusions, unusual thinking, an obsession about light and darkness, a feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts and dreams. Your mind has constructed an elaborate fantasy scenario in which your writings are affecting reality. She has been kidnapped and supernatural forces of darkness are trying to stop you. We go this way, Alan.
Who is Thomas
Wasn't ready
Zane
for another
as a
shot.
character, really?
So I went along with it.
Through the years, I've read
influence of the drug he had
interesting
given me.
fan
I
theories
had
about
fight
him,
not to
and
believe his
I'm not
words.
going to dive too deep into these things. But it is an interesting question. Like we see some glimpses, especially in the DLC part of it, where we start to think that is he being completely open and honest with us about his motives and who he really is, and how does this thing loop around between the fictions of Zane and Wake?
Are just a manifestation of your
Part of the backstory we are dealing with is about old gods of Asgard, of course. They, in a way, belong into the same continuation as Thomas Zane. I mean, we are talking about artists who, in a way, have come into contact with these dark forces and ended up affecting reality in one way or the other. Old gods of Asgard, of course, through their music. And music is a big part of story and storytelling of Alan Wake.
I never get tired of this view. Very inspiring, isn't it?
Cauldron Lake spread below us. I could see Mirror Peak on the other side of the lake. I thought I could make out the spot where Diver's Isle had been when I arrived with Alice. Now there was nothing but waves.
It seems there's a storm coming. Funny, I don't recall there being a mention of that in the weather forecast. Well, no matter. This way. Follow me. Alan, what I'm telling you is good news. Right now we're in control. Every time you have a relapse, it gets more and more difficult to resurface from the dark depths of your imagination. Not surprising, considering your profession. Imagination is what you work with. After all your nightmares, this should come as an immense relief to you. If it doesn't, why is that? Because I'm lying? Or because you don't want to admit that you're not well? It's very natural for you to think of me as your enemy. It's part of the illness.
I let him talk.
After all,
Hartman obviously loved his own voice. His words echoed madly inside my head.
But I
dug my nails into the palms of my hands to stay focused.
You need to work with me. Once you accept that, we can begin the journey towards your recovery. Come along. Let's go inside. Here's the entrance to the office wing. That's for staff only. You were impressed by my trophies when you first arrived here. I do love to hunt. The great outdoors, man versus nature. It's wonderful stuff.
Scary. I'm a real bad dream, mister. You should be afraid of me. Don't want to run into me in the night, that's for sure.
Please, Emerson. Mr. Wake is confused enough as it is.
Yeah, you'd like me to go with
Oh, hello. I've painted you.
Okay.
I was just struck by inspiration a couple of days ago. Dr. Hartman wanted me to paint landscapes, and that's what I was doing. But now I've been doing these things. A lot of them. The images just... Dr. Hartman likes them. He has them in his office.
Yeah?
He's very proud of me. He says I'm getting much better.
Now, you might have noticed the typewriter in your room. You've been writing as a part of the therapy. As soon as you feel up to it, you should continue.
My rheumatism's killing me. There's a storm coming. Oh, what a storm. I hope it wipes this place off the face of the earth.
And these two are the Anderson brothers, Odin and Thor. They had how should I put this? A heavy metal band in the 70s and 80s called Old Gods of Asgard. They even adopted new first names to complete the image of Viking gods. After the band broke up, they lived on a farm nearby. They are, well, in advanced stages of dementia. They're well cared for, TLC and all that. There's nothing more that can be done. I'm afraid that the rock and roll lifestyle has left its mark.
I'm so sorry to cut this short for now, Alan. The power has been acting up. I'd better go check on it. We'll continue this soon. Meanwhile, when you feel up to it, return to your room and try to write. It really is for the best. Don't you think?
I'd like to bash his head in with a hammer. Oh, he'd love to fish out our secrets, but he has no clue. He's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny. He's crazy ship's fireman, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Say, you're all right, Tom. Hey, we like him, don't we, bro? He's got to go to the bar. The Anderson Farm. Valhalla! That's a big forget. A crash course. All you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message. Here, Sonny, here's something for you.
My head was clearing up, or according to Hartman, I was sinking back into the fantasy. I was convinced he was lying to me about everything. Crazy or not, the Andersons made more sense.
Power again. He's checking on it now.
Yeah, good thing he's not overreacting.
Well, he's the boss.
I may need a hand here later on, Birch. The storm's bound to make you-know-who jumpy. You know how they get.
Gotcha. The doc's got me looking after Wake here, but holler if you get too
Something's wrong.
I'll do that, Birch.
I'm not myself. It's hard to think that there's a shadow inside my head.
Wake, why don't you humor Dr. Hartman and give the writing a shot, huh? Typewriter's in your room.
Have been for days, but it's always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not.
I didn't know what the chaos was all about, but it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Where the hell did you get a damn hammer?
I don't know.
Hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Mjolnir, wench. Oh, afraid of the crazy brothers, are ya? Not so weak now, are we?
Sinclair looked bad. That wasn't a love tap. The crazy old fart hit her hard. And if she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I had to get to Hartman's office. He had taken all my manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
Storm. I'm taking it. Come out and face the music, Birch. It's time to pay the piper. We're on a comeback tour, baby. Maybe you could come out and beat Hammer's way. We'll have it.
Get out of here! Hartman, do you hear me? I'm gonna sue your crazy quack ass to shreds!
Barry?
Ow! About time!
Barry! Man, am I glad to see you. We need to get to Hartman's office.
These were all the pages I had. And more. Alan, please. You're sliding back into the... Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
The dark presence would be on me in a moment. I had to find a way out. I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way. generator and a work light on the balcony.
but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al.
Oh, God! Look at the house, Al! Look out!
car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al. Oh, God! Look at the house, Al!
You get 2 barrels in the morning, and then you'll be... You get 3 barrels in the evening.
Let's get out of here. Can you open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry.
Well, I slammed it shut when the nasty showed up, and the key fits kind of loose in the lock, so, I'll find it, don't worry about it!
Hurry up, Barry!
I'm on it!
Hurry up, Barry!
I'm on it! I'm on it!
Hurry up, Barry!
I'm on it! I'm on it!
I had lost my gun in the crash. Barry was nowhere to be seen.
Barry! Barry!
Oh, man, you're
Behind the music of Old Gods of Asgard lurks a Finnish band called the Poets of the Fall. And they are good friends of mine. And we obviously started collaborating with Poets already with Max Payne 2.
There's no way you can climb down, though. It's like a sheer wall. Al! There's something moving down here!
Barry, it's a take-it! Use a flare, Barry!
Yeah!
Barry, are you alright?
Video game storytelling uses many different mediums, and music definitely is one. And at some point I started thinking about the idea that we would have a fictional band and we would custom create music that would be in-world. And with that we could have lyrics and themes that are part of the storytelling. And that